Hey there, I'm getting ready to start a second series. It's super late at night, so I'm only going to get a few turns in here, and then going to have to quit. But I did want to make a quick comment. So the board is set up, right? It's set up the same way as the last series that we did. One thing I forgot to do is set the markers, of course. The resource markers are not used by the AI, so that is out. And that is also out. So we're going to play as Gandhi in this one. And then this starts at 24. And it's 2, 3, and 4. So Muslim oppose. Muslims are at 2. They're at 3. And Gandhi's at 4. Like that. Okay, so that's the starting situation. But the comment I wanted to make that jumped out at me is that there's a lot of protesters that start in the cities in the beginning. And as you know, that goes away as you play the game. And so if there's a time to strike the cities, it's here early on. But later, they don't really do anything. They sort of ignore the cities after that point. The AI does. I'm not saying a human player would. So then the other thing is we get to choose where to put Gandhi, the protest marker, and the activist. And I'm going to choose Bihar, largely because when they do random rolls to determine locations, they always hit this first and this never gets picked. That's the largest reason. And I can show you real quick my logic there. See, if you roll a 2 here, it starts here at 1 and then goes to 2 and then to 3, right? So now Bihar does get chosen here in 3 as well, 1, 2, 3. But see, United Province is always first. So unless you do a perfect roll of 2, 3, or maybe a 4, 5, or 6, and then it, because it goes up and then it goes to 3, 1, and then it goes up. See, unless you get a perfect roll of 2, 3, even if it's a 2, 4, it'll go up and then land on United Province. So Bihar is very protected. So you either need to have a perfect roll of 2, 3 or a perfect roll of 3, 3. So that's the point I was trying to make. This is really hard for the randomizer to pick. It tends to never get picked. And so the logic here is if I can get a presence there, change the support to opposition, I can maybe get this set early in the game and keep it that way, and get some points. So that's the idea. But yeah, I just wanted to point out that it was very interesting start with the city situation. And we could start in a city if we wanted and make it a protest, which would flip these over right away. That is the one advantage of putting Gandhi somewhere with that protest marker, but I'm going to leave it be for now. Punjab's another one, but I think the Muslim player is going to take care of the Muslim parts. So I'm not as worried about the Muslim locations, or at least that's my initial thought. I don't want to help the Muslim player win like last time. So here's the Viceroy, Lord Irwin, their sweep. The cost, remember, they have unlimited costs. But see this activation number, this 1? That means, I'm pretty sure that means, so here, let me back up. Right here, it's the restraint determines how many locations they're going to do this. But the Viceroy with a 1 here means they're only going to do 1 location. So during sweep, it's going to be just 1 location. But just for sweep. The other locations, of course, is going to be equal to the restraint. And at the beginning of a full campaign, the restraint is 4, unity is 3. You can see that as so. Okay, so like I said, I won't be able to get very far in. I just wanted to whet the appetite, get it going. Doing this setup took up most of the time between the end of the playthrough we just did for the Raj and getting everything set up. I enjoyed this enough. I want to try again. So let's try again. We're going to be Gandhi this time, and let's see how the Raj AI works, and see if the AI is still just as tough. So anyways, here's the first card. This is the one for this turn. And I was immediately going to say, hey, we go last, but that's because we just finished that campaign. We actually get to go second, which is good. And then there we get to go first. So this is the next one. Let's look at this. So normally this is what we did with the Raj, but this is going to be more helpful for us. Remove one activist, place a gorilla, or shift the space to neutral. That doesn't help us. And up to 3 spaces, replace one gorilla or one sepoy with an activist from available. That is actually quite nice in the beginning. So we could pass to get that, and we would get to go first. That's an interesting one. Let's see what this one is. Here, they're going to get to go first, and they're not going to do the white side, which we want to do, apparently. So add one unrest marker at up to 2 Muslim spaces, then remove a base. Or they want to add 2 bases to Muslim provinces with room. Okay. Adding bases for them, I'm just checking. That's a Muslim League piece. So yes, that is effective for them. So they would do the event. And then we would actually get to do a full operation plus special activity. As much as I like the event on the next card, I don't love it. I'm going to go ahead and do that instead. So they're going to add 2 bases, and we've played the AI for this guy before, so we know what they want to do in a basic. So anywhere that's not active opposition, I'm sorry, they want to go to a Muslim space that doesn't already have a base, and 2 pop fewest cubes. Okay, well, there's only 3 Muslim spaces. This one has no cubes at all. So first Muslim base goes there. Then the second one doesn't want to go to the same place where there already is one. This has 2 cubes. That has 2 cubes. So then we're going to randomize. So I got a 4-1. And if we look on the back, a 4-1 puts us in Delhi. So then it's going to move along, then 5, and then 6, and then 1, 1, 2, 3. It's going to go to Punjab. Yeah, it does, Josh. Here's where sorry, I was asked a question off camera. There we go. So that would go there, and that's their turn. I don't know how this helps them, to be quite honest. I mean, I guess it helps them because then they don't, you know, if they ever get a Muslim state, it's easy or it's harder to destroy, because the Raj has to remove all the pieces before they can change the state. I don't know. I have not been sold on the importance of having a base for the Muslims. Maybe if we play as them, we'll finally understand. But, okay. So that's already a turn, full turn. So now, I'm sorry, we get to go. So let's do our newfound action. We've done this many times with the AI, so we're very aware of non-cooperation because we always had to figure out how that works. But so basically, we have rally, where we get to add forces and release prisoners. Okay, that's probably something we want to do early on here. So anywhere that has protest or Gandhi, plus neutral or opposition spaces, up to restraint, which is 4 restraint right now. So that's really good. So that's the first thing that we can do. The second one is demonstrate, which moves activists and place protests, which right now we can only place 1 more protest marker because restraint's pretty high. Civil disobedience, spaces with protest or Gandhi, we get to place protests and occupy railways. So this is a nice way to ruin their income, but the AI gets unlimited income. So going to railways is pointless when you play against an AI Raj. or at least I think it's pointless. We can check real quick here. But if there's an AI Raj, yeah, see, they skip the resource phase completely. And yeah, they just completely skip it. So the resource phase doesn't do anything. And you can see here that they do the 4 spaces shift to support for twice the die roll total shifts and markers removed. So as you can see there, they don't need to spend money. They just get to do imperialism, whatever they want to do. Okay, so this one is probably hardly ever going to be done. We would do it to place protests and nothing else. And we can do it in places that have Congress activists. So this last one is to build opposition, which of course is how we win the game, right? And it goes with the satyagraha or persuade. So you need to keep in mind it only works with these 2 special activities. But so for every space with a protest marker and Congress activists, with no Raj control, we get to shift. Now, the restraint goes down, which does reduce how much we can do these actions up here. But here we get to move Gandhi and remove unrest, which hurts the revolutionaries. Here we can remove adversaries and expose guerrillas. We can remove an act of peace. We can remove troops and stuff, but that's the last thing that happens. Or we can negotiate, which releases Gandhi from jail or removes a Muslim state. So if Muslim state and the Congress pieces exceed the Muslim pieces, we can remove the Muslim state marker and set it to neutral. So this is something that we could really, I mean, it helps the Raj, but it will help us to control the Muslim points. So initially, like, we're going to get to do both, because that's the reason why I wanted to do the action like this. And I don't know if removing adversaries is necessarily a priority. Neither is removing unrest. There is no Muslim state, so we got to do something, right? I think moving Gandhi might be what we want to do. Yeah, I think that's might be what we want to do. We could do this persuade, but I'm not as convinced. So I want to get more activists out. The reducing the restraint will allow us to have more protests. But let's do rally first. So we're going to add forces. So this happens in any city, province, or state with protest or Gandhi, plus neutral or opposition spaces up to restraint. Okay? So what I want to do is I want to move Gandhi first, because right now Gandhi is in the same place as a protest. So you see this? We get to do, we don't have any resources. There's no money. This is different than the Raj. We get to do as many as we can. And so I want to go where the protest marker is, and then I also want to go where Gandhi is, right? Right now, those are both the same place. So we want to do the special action first to move Gandhi, and then we can put activists where Gandhi moved to, plus the protest, and then we even get to do other places. Okay, does that make sense? So let's move Gandhi first. So it can go with any accompanying up. It goes to any one space, and it says first, move Gandhi to any space. Then in the space with Gandhi, either remove an unrest marker and any protest marker, or place a Congress activist. I'm not going to place an activist because we're doing rally with it. So we're going to go and let's try to remove an unrest marker, because that'll hurt the rebels. So I'm going to go ahead and go to East Bengal here, and we're going to remove that unrest marker. I know that's sort of breaking my rules, because I was talking about like leaving the Muslim spaces alone. It is nice to remove an unrest marker. It would also be nice to just go somewhere else too. This is where the decisions get tough, folks. You know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stick with my original strategy. We're going to let the Muslims worry about the Muslim spaces. We're going to try to go non-Muslim as much as we can. We could try to disrupt Bombay here. because they have 4 cubes. There's already 2 activists there, and then I'm going to be able to add more if I go there. Or we go to these high value 2 provinces, Madras Presidency or the Bombay Presidency. The value of doing the city is you get to disrupt the railroads, but remember the railroads don't mean anything in this game. So I think what I'm going to do then is we're going to do the Madras Presidency. Because I remember last game, these guys took it and ran with it. So we're going to go down here and we're going to do that. So what Rally does is in each space, we can place an activist up to population. Then we can move one from out of play to available or release activists from jail. There's nobody in jail. So first we're going to do the protest space. So we get to take 2 of these, put them in. And then we go to Gandhi space, we take 2 and put those there. And of course they're going to be inactive. And then we can go up to restraint places. Well, we only have 1 left, right? So I'm going to take that and then we get to move 1 from out of play over. We only have 1 left. And it just has to be somewhere that doesn't have Raj control. It has to be neutral or opposition. So the Raj control actually doesn't matter. It's neutral or opposition. So for example, this one is passively supporting the British, so are they. So I can't go there. So I either had to have Gandhi, like this one, or a protest marker, like that one. So I actually have to go somewhere that is neutral or opposition. All the cities, as you can see, are support, and neutral would be one of the Muslim spaces. And I'm not saying I'm completely against going to those. And if I have to choose a single population location,
it won't work.
Okay.
She just hates it.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put a second one here in Punjab then. So that'll be my turn. Sorry, my dog injured her foot earlier, and we're trying to bandage it, and she's being a bit of a wuss. So, anyways, okay, so that's our turn. I think so far so good. So let's see how this Raj AI is going to work. So we now go to the next turn. This, of course, is the card for them. And then this is the card that will be for us, and we're going to get to go first again. So you see, being Gandhi, you get to go first a lot. All right, so this one, we can arrest all activists in railways, remove strike markers, or add up to 3 activists or 2 strikes to any railways. Useless against an AI Raj. So the event doesn't mean anything for us, but let's move to here, and you can see that the revolutionaries go first, and their current event is not critical. Next eligible is not critical. Would they be first? They're not going to be first eligible in the next, so they're going to do ops plus SA. And then the Raj will not be first eligible in the next. Is the event effective? Remove 1 activist, place 1 guerrilla, or shift the space to neutral. Removing activists does make it effective, so they're going to do the event. So Raj will do the event. We're not going to be using an AI card for them. So, all right, let's do the guerrillas. Any unrest or revolutionary bases without guerrillas? No. So we'll draw a new card. Guerrillas exceed unity in any spaces without a revolutionary base. Nope. 3 or more guerrillas in any space. Nope. Any 2 provinces with no unrest and no guerrillas. Yes. Is the die roll less than or equal available guerrillas? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. All right, so they're going to do a rally. They're going to place bases where guerrillas exceed unity. Not happening. Select spaces using place guerrillas. So here's where we use place guerrillas, and it's saying revolutionary base without guerrillas, first place. And that, of course, not happening. Next is unrest without guerrillas, also not happening. Most revolutionary bases. Well, there's only one. So they're going to place there. And the amount they place is equal to 1 plus the bases. So they're going to place 2 here. And you can see here they're going to do it up to 3 times. So we have to roll. Or no, with the restraint you roll. This says 3. So they're doing it 3 times. So, or no, I'm sorry, you still roll up to the restraint. So restraint's 4. So we rolled a 5, and I think that means they keep going. So yes, it does. So now they're going to place somewhere else. So we already did where the most revolutionary base is. So now 1 to 2 guerrillas and no base. So that's where they want to go next. And there's a whole bunch of places there. And so then it's 2 pop, and then most guerrillas, and then fewest cubes. So 2 pop, most guerrillas, fewest cubes is still the same 3 places. Punjab has 2 cubes, so that one's eliminated. So we're going to go ahead and roll. And I rolled a 5-3. And you can see here that a 5-3 is Hyderabad, 4-5-6, then 6-1-2-3-4, and Madras. So just like before, they're putting just 1 in Madras. There's no base there. So they only get to do 1 plus bases. Equal to unity. Yeah, 1 plus bases. So that gets there. And now let's roll, see if they can do the 3rd one. And they need a 5-er. Oh, they did it. So they're going to place a 3rd one now. And it's still between those 2 places, so we're going to roll. And I got a 3-5, which puts us over in East Bengal. But 4-1 puts us in Delhi. So just bear with me. So we're sort of zigzagging through here. We're going to get to Bombay Presidency is what I'm getting at. So they would add 1 there. So that's their turn. Well, that's their rally. Now they're doing special activity, infiltrate to replace an adversary, which is actually going to, well, it might hurt us. Let's figure that out. So to do a replace for them, they want to do it where there's the most guerrillas. And we got lucky because the most guerrillas is up there. So they're going to do a replace adversary there instead of down here where we are. And the adversaries, of course, is the Muslim state marker, then a protest marker, then a base, which none of those are there. Hold on a second. Infiltrate. Sometimes the adversary has to be active. Let me check. Infiltrate only removes a sepoy, activist, or protest marker with an underground guerrilla. So that would be the activist is, the troop is higher than the activist, and there's no priority here. So the troop actually gets removed. That's interesting. And it gets replaced with a guerrilla. All right, so that's their turn. Then the Raj is doing the in states up to the restraint, which is 4. So that's a lot of states for them. They can remove an activist, place a guerrilla, or shift the space to neutral. Now, what's interesting here is shifting to neutral could be beneficial to them just as much as removing an activist. So which do they... So you can see here that shifting to support is a higher priority for them than removing. So they want to shift the support first before they remove. And this is in states up to restraint, so 4 states. Now, states are different than provinces, and actually, this actually is really helpful to them. Very helpful. You can see there's states like this which normally wouldn't get touched, but they're going to basically just remove that to neutral. So that's 1. This is 2. I guess there was only 2. Yeah, there was only 2. And there's no adversary to remove outside of those. There's no states anywhere else. But that's still helpful, and it actually hurts us directly. So we just lost 2 more points. So we just dropped down to 2, like that. And they got rid of some primo spots that are going to be hard for us to ever infiltrate back again. Now, could they have done something else a little bit more effective? Probably, but that's still helpful to them.
Should be still trying.
And it will be these guys on the next turn. I'm going to go ahead and end the video. As I said, it's a late night and I only wanted to do a few turns. So thanks for watching. Stay awesome and stay healthy and safe.